there today. This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Tuesday, April 16th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, MLB, and NFL videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel, and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing, bro?
Lou Williams. Did we say it? Too cheap.
Hey, man. Hey, it was crazy. I was telling you a second ago. I told my lady, second quarter, I said, hey, I know the Warriors are blowing them out, but Lou Will, he was like, he started off real slow, and I said, don't let him get hot. Sure enough, he got hot. Harold had a really, really big fourth quarter. Patrick Beverly, he is absolutely just all up in Kevin Durant's head. Kevin Durant fouled out for the first time in the playoffs in his career. It ended up being a very, very fun game to watch the second half. Yeah, man. So I expect these games right here to be a couple good games as well. We had a couple upsets in the first games. So let's see if some teams can bounce back at home. And yeah, man, I'm ready to talk some basketball if you are, bro.
Let's get into it, man.
Cool. If you guys haven't already, make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. We got a lot of stuff going on every single day. 4 or 5 different content for 4 or 5 different sports. Hey, man, a lot of stuff. We got PGA in the optimizer now. Hey, good stuff. dfscheatsheet.com. And yeah, man, let's jump into it. So the first game we're going to go with is going to be the Orlando Magic going into Toronto to face the Raptors. This game has a 211.5 over under. Toronto's favored by 10 in this one. And, man, Orlando stole one to start the series.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, man, I think some of this has to do with coaching, to be honest with you. It's a playoffs, and you look at what the Spurs did, right? I mean,
we'll get to that game. I agree with you on the Spurs game. I agree a lot with you. I know.
Here's my point with mentioning that, right? You get in these series, and everything gets condensed. The game slows down a little bit. Everything gets condensed, and you're gonna play a team as many as 7 times, right? So it becomes about adjustments. It becomes about you're so familiar. Teams don't change their offense, right? And it's the NBA. They've only got so many plays. They're their motion offense, high pick and roll team. You know what's going to happen. It's really about execution and who can execute within their scheme the best. It becomes almost like X and O's in football.
I just want to tell you something because I know you don't know this. Well, you probably don't know this. So I'm going to tell you what really happened, in my opinion. Kyle Lowry, right? The second best player on the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
Debatable. 0 points.
That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't.
A goose egg, though. Come on. He's a guy that scores 8 points a game.
But let me tell you something. On the flip side of that coin, what did Vucevic do?
Yeah.
Do you think that Vucevic is going to have 8 points for every game of the series? Do you think he's going to get frustrated by Marc Gasol and by Serge Ibaka?
Yeah, I get you.
I mean, look, they got outplayed. They got outplayed at home. This is not a secret with Toronto in the playoffs. The only thing that's different is they swapped Kawhi Leonard for DeMar DeRozan, right? I mean, so they've got Kawhi Leonard. We know he's an all-world defender, but from a matchup standpoint, the ones that have to make an adjustment is Toronto. They have to make an adjustment to DJ Augustin shredding them. That's what they've got to make an adjustment to. Right. So DJ Augustin is a guy that I know his price is 6.2. I know value is 30 here for cash games, but DJ Augustin is a guy that I'm going to look to fade in the second game of the series because he's the guy they're going to have to adjust to. And to me, it's going to be about 2 things. Is Kawhi Leonard gonna guard Aaron Gordon? If that's the way this is gonna go, the game's gonna open up for Vucevic. If I'm Toronto, I'm trying to make this about Jonathan Isaac and Evan Fournier hitting perimeter shots. That's what I'm trying to make this about. If I can get Aaron Gordon to settle for elbow shots, I can take Vucevic away from the rim. I can trap Augustine and make him get rid of the ball, or trap Vucevic and make him get rid of the ball. and my shooters are Jonathan Isaac and Evan Fournier, I like my chances there. What they can't get caught up in is letting Vucevic dominate in the pick and roll game with DJ Augustine. That's what they can't get caught up in. So I like Vucevic. I think he has a bounce back game at 9.4. I'm going to stay away from Aaron Gordon because I think it's the Kawhi Leonard factor here. I don't mind Augustine, but I don't. You have to understand this is borderline chasing points. He can't go out and put up. Look, we know one thing: Kyle Lowry's not the best defender. Agreed.
Right.
But Danny Green's a really good defender. Agreed.
Yeah, Danny Green's a good defender.
So if you're looking at Kyle, you're looking at Danny Green guarding DJ Augustine, and then you're looking at Leonard on Gordon. I think you got to look at Evan Fournier and Vucevic. And again, I think Terrence Ross plays a huge role in this game.
Yeah, no way. Terrence Ross is a guy that can put up 40 any night.
You know what I'm saying though, because the way they have to kind of do things to take things away from Orlando, it's got to be about perimeter jump shots, and then that kind of makes it a Terrence Ross type deal.
Right. On the Raptors side of things, I mean, I expect them to come out, be ready to go. I'll start with Kyle Lowry. I talked about it. I mean, he filled up the stat sheet outside of scoring. He had like 7 rebounds, 8 assists, a couple of steals. If he scores 15 points, he has a decent night. I expect him to bounce back. A lot of people were talking smack that he didn't score no points. So I'll start with him. Then you go with Kawhi Leonard, the best player. 9.3 is still too cheap for him in a game that I definitely expect him to bounce back and win. Gasol's too cheap, 5.7. They showed that they're going to play him over Ibaka when the game matters. He played right around 30 minutes compared to Ibaka when he got like 19 minutes. Siakam's a guy, he's going to get a ton of minutes. He played 42 minutes last game, 7.8. I like the starters outside of Danny Green. I'm not really interested in Danny Green on this slate, but I like the other 4 starters. And then off the bench, you got to look at the guys that get the regular minutes. Ibaka, he will get some minutes. I expect him to get a couple more minutes in this game. And then you got to look at Van Fleet. Van Fleet, 4,800. He's their first guard off of the bench. He's the backup shooting guard, backup point guard. He played, I think, like 25, 26 minutes in this game. 4.8 is a good price tag for him. But for me, I'm just sticking with those 6 guys, and that's really where I'm at with the Raptors. I think rotation is going to be pretty tight in this game, especially if it's a close one.
I just want to quickly point something out to you, though. I know that there's a big deal being made about Kyle Lowry, but a lot of that is warranted because he has not played well in the playoffs. I think he averages 14 points for his career in the playoffs per game. And I think he's the 3rd best player on this team. Debatable even that. I think Kyle Lowry might even be the 4th best player on this team because if you let Pau Gasol or Marc Gasol play a full allotment of minutes, his skill set is better than Kyle Lowry's. Right. Siakam is definitely the 2nd scoring option on this team, in my opinion. I mean, Siakam is this guy. This guy's a slasher. He's ridiculously talented. And Kawhi Leonard, we know what he is, right? I think borderline Lowry's the 4th best player.
Hey, that's crazy to say, though, man. That's crazy. But I get what you're saying, though. It makes sense. That definitely makes sense. And I agree. Marc Gasol, he's an all-star. We know. Honestly, sorry, Ibaka. For me, playoff time, I'm playing Marc Gasol 32 minutes. He's a really good passer for a big, man. I'm a big-time fan. He's a very good price tag.
I just think Ibaka off the bench is what they should do. He's a mismatch. He's a mismatch to their bench.
Right. Moving on. Next game we're going to go with is going to be the San Antonio Spurs going into Denver to face the Nuggets. This game has a 208 over-under, and Denver's favored by 7 in this one.
Yeah, I mean, look, Brent Forbes at 4.7, okay. Derek White at 5.8, okay. I mean, I like all 4 of these guys in their prices. Rudy Gay at 5.4, I wish he was starting, but he's not. And at 5.4, I don't mind paying 5.4 for Rudy Gay because he can score. I think Rudy Gay can get you 5x, 6x here. No problem. But here's the problem with this. For San Antonio to win this series, they've got to grind it down. That's what they have to do. I just think that I would be scared if I was Denver. I would be scared because nobody's better at this over a 7-game series than Popovich is. And if these guys can execute what Popovich is asking them to do, Popovich will make sure they have all the adjustments. I think that DeRozan, Aldridge, White, Forbes, Gay, all in play. The only thing that scares me here is the possessions. I just believe they're going to grind it down.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Man, must-win game for the Nuggets. You can't go down 2-0 to Pop. I mean, that's all I'm saying. It's trouble. And I mean, the biggest difference in this game is, I mean, you're talking about coaching. Coaching in the playoffs is humongous. You got an inexperienced Nuggets team versus San Antonio, who has a coach that's putting him in the best position to feel comfortable in the playoffs. Nuggets, man, the rotation, the past couple games, even the last game before the playoffs started, they were it was a must-win game for them, and the rotation was very, very tight. I mean, you could look at all five starters; they're all in play. Jokic 10.6 coming off a triple double. He's the obvious guy that you got to look at. We've liked bigs against Spurs all year. Millsap 5.5 fair price tag. Barton, past two games he's been getting those regular minutes and he's back to doing what Barton does. Fills up the stat sheet. He's going to play 32, 34 minutes. He's going to, got your 30 fantasy points. All you need for value, 26, 27. If Gary Harris and Barton are going to play 32 to 35 minutes, you can see Harris 38, 36 minutes the past two games. Both of these guys are really, really good plays at their price tag. I like those guys a lot. With Jokic, Millsap, Murray, a little bit more GPP plays for me. The only other guy I really look at, they've liked this guy all year, Monte Morris. Last game, he didn't have the most impressive game, but he did get you 23 minutes off of the bench at 4,000. You could possibly look at him as a job spot. And then Mason Plumlee, he's always in play, 4.5. But like I said, rotations are tight. You really got to look at the starters. They're going to play a bunch of minutes, and they're all pretty fair priced.
I mean, last thing I'll say about this is the mentor and the freaking apprentice, man, or the disciple, whatever you want to call it, because I'm not sure how many people realize this, but the only reason that Malone is a head coach in the NBA is because Popovich got the guy hired in Cleveland. He got the guy hired in New Orleans, and he went to bat for him to get this job here in Denver. This guy is Popovich has been everything to him, and he just out-coached his ass in the first game.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Final game of the night, we got Oklahoma City Thunder going into Portland to face the Trailblazers. This game has a 222 over/under, and Portland's favored by 2.
Somebody, go ahead.
I have a question for you, real quick. Going into this series, like everything out the window, like who did you expect to win this series? Cause I was asking myself this earlier, and I was like debating it a little bit. We're not talking about no lead right now. Just who do you expect? Like, who do you think should win this? Portland?
I think Portland's a better constructed team. I said when the unfortunate injury happened to Nurkic, I thought it was a great time for Enes Kanter to shine. Right. We both said that weeks ago, right, when the injury happened. So I think that they're better constructed than Oklahoma City is. This is a two-man show. Right, it's a two-man show with Westbrook and Paul George. On any given night, they can both get insanely hot and they can carry your team. But that's in the regular season, right? There's not the defense is not as intense. I just think that this is a better team. And you start looking at the bench for Portland against the bench for Oklahoma City, and you've got Schroeder, Morris, Nerlens Noel, Patrick Patterson. I mean, which one of those guys is really a sixth man? I mean, Schroeder, you can make a case for him, but I mean, you got solid defensive players on the Portland bench, and Evan Turner and Rodney Hood, and guys that they can get out there rotationally and playing an 8-man rotation. When you've got those two guys coming in, and they're coming in for an Aminu and a McCollum, right? Or they're coming in for Lillard, and you've got McCollum with two other small forwards, basically, or shooting guards out there. I just think that Portland knows what time it is. They know what happened last year. They are not going to overlook this. And I just think you've got a team in Oklahoma City that needs another piece. Jeremy Grant's been that piece in some spots. Dennis Schroeder's been that piece in some spots, but this is a playoff series. And again, it's about adjustments, and you're going to play your style, and whoever adjusts better, you know where guys are going to be at. So I thought Portland would win this series. I really did.
Yeah, man. I honestly think I'm on the other side of things. I like the Thunder a little bit more, but the biggest thing about it right now is, I mean, Paul George is hurt, and that's man. He's playing through it, and I understand he had a decent game last game, but they said just like 4 days before
your
the
shoulder
playoff,
would hurt too. Your
Yeah, but they
shoulder
said
your shoulder will hurt too, bro.
4 days before the playoff game that he couldn't even like lift his arm up. So no, I'm just saying like that. I think that's like that has to play a big factor into this series as well.
Sure. And like I'm saying, your shoulder would hurt too if you took that many shots in the course of a season. I mean, these guys take a lot of freaking shots. They're the entire offense, man. I mean,
For sure.
Paul George, the difference with Paul George and a lot of players in the NBA, and I'll compare him to other small forwards, and I'll throw LeBron James in this group. Paul George, the one thing you're going to get out of Paul George every single night is defense. That's the one thing you're going to get out of him. You don't know if he's going to score every single night, but he's going to play defense. I just don't – it's just a mismatch. He doesn't have a small forward on the other side of things that is an impactful player in the game offensively for him to defend and shut down. So, having said that, look, Westbrook's going to come out, and I think this is going to be a Westbrook game. Westbrook knows what time it is. He knows Paul George is hurt. He knows Paul George is banged up, and he can't do some of the things that he's been able to do. I think this is a spot where you see the old Russell Westbrook. I think you see him come out pissed off. I think you see him come out playing angry. I think you see him come out and just try to go right to the hole. A big difference also is that I know Westbrook averaged a triple-double this year, but he did not shoot the ball well. And that right there, if nobody else around him is going to make shots and he's not going to shoot the ball for a good percentage, it's going to be a rough series. It's going to be a very rough series. It's going to be about him getting to the hole and getting to the free throw line and being able to – one thing Westbrook does really well, he can take the ball to the rack and lay it down to Steven Adams and get an easy dunk. So, Enes Kanter knows that. We had some people in our chat talking about this was a super sleeper narrative type play with Enes Kanter. If you don't know Enes Kanter was in a good spot in this, you're like a freaking flamingo with your head in the sand.
Yeah, no, for sure. Enes Kanter, I mean, we've past 2 years, anytime he gets opportunity to play minutes, you play him, man. 7.8. I think in this matchup, you go right back to the well. The guy's getting the opportunity, getting the minutes. He's going to get you a double-double any night. And it's crazy. I don't know what happened to Steven Adams. The very beginning of the year, we never wanted to target him. He played very good defense. And towards the end of the year, it just kept sliding down.
He's hurt, dude. He's hurt.
Yeah, and now you got centers are, they're putting up big numbers on him. And I like Kanter. He's the third man on this offense. He stepped in very well for Nurkic, and he's taking care of business. Then you got to look at Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. I mean, the two best players on this team. I mean, those guys, if they're going to win this game, they need those guys to have good games. 9.7 is still too cheap for Damian Lillard. The way he's playing right now, he's just playing absolute lights out. I've got to like him in this spot once again at home. 6.9 for McCollum. It's a decent price. The only thing about McCollum, if he's going to get a little bit of Paul George defense, I can see it happening to kind of take one of them away. That scares me a little bit, and he's pretty score independent. But I definitely think McCollum is in play. And then outside of that, I mean, I'm honestly not really going to be looking at the bench guys because you got a bunch of guys that are playing about 15 minutes. Hood, Turner, Curry's got 16 minutes last game. These guys are all playing 15, 16 minutes. They're not giving me enough time to really give me some value down there. I could find value in a couple other spots on this slate. So for me with the Blazers, it's Kanter, Lillard, McCollum. Those are the guys that you really look at. And possibly, you could throw in Harkless as a little bit of a GPP play. He's shown us, in the past month or so, he does have a little bit of upside. So I think he's the GPP play, and that's really where I'm at with Portland.
Yeah, I like Portland, man. I like this spot for them a lot.
Yeah, like I said, I just think you stick with the main guys, man. So that's what we got. Small 3-game slate. We're still here with you guys all the way through the playoffs. Breaking down some NBA. There's still a bunch of really big tournaments up on Fanduel and Draftkings. So, hey, man, don't give up on NBA just yet, man. We got to continue getting this money. Outside of that, hey, man, check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Good luck on your guys' contest tomorrow, and peace out.